Hi, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Another beautiful day out here. Great for a Sunday. Lots of people here today, though. At least people are enjoying themselves. That's a good thing, right? So, if there's one thing that I have noticed in recent times, and I'm going to say probably around, for the newer generations. And when I talk about newer generations, keep in mind that I'm Gen X and I'm about to hit my mid 50s soon. And newer generations to me is anyone who's, 20, 30 years younger than me. I would categorize it that way. So there's something that people of my generation used to be exposed to it a lot more, which is this whole concept and idea of the hero archetype, right? The heroic figure. And we used to get exposed to this a lot more than in recent times. And this is for certain. You can just observe that in things like media, um, you know through movies, shows, books, and even and stuff of that nature. It used to be a lot more prevalent when I was young, very early days, when I was like 6, 7 years old and going forward from that point. It was a lot more prevalent then than it is today, that's for sure. And it's this whole concept of there's this thing that everybody goes through life that is just inevitable, right? It's going to happen to every single one of us, and it'll happen throughout our lives, on and off. For some more than others. It really depends on your whole journey, your circumstances, your personal experiences, the things that you do, your actions, all of that stuff. And what happens is we are shown through this idea of these heroic characters, the tales that exist, the books that have been written, the real stories of real people that existed. And it doesn't have to be real. It can be fictional. It doesn't matter. It's the whole idea, the concept behind it, of the heroic figure, right? And that archetype, what is the story about? It's always about a person going through all kinds of like adversities and challenges in their lives, and then they fight their way through it. They figure it out, and usually the way those stories work is, the main character, which is the hero, right? They will prevail in the end. They will be triumphant. That's not always the case. There's stories like that where they have tragic ends. It doesn't matter. But the point is, it's the idea of the hero. And when children are not exposed to that idea at early childhood anymore, that does a lot of harm in a lot of ways, because we have to learn to equip ourselves with these things to be able to succeed and thrive in life. Because when we don't apply these things into our lives, life can be very difficult. And this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that because maybe they weren't exposed to that concept enough to understand that this is just, how life is, and things will happen. But we have always been gifted and equipped with all the tools and things that we need to be able to persevere, to thrive, and to overcome things, problems, issues, whatever they may be, no matter the nature of these things. And the problem is that in recent times, people are much more so conditioned to believe that they don't have control over these things and over certain things. And when you tell yourself certain stories enough times, you will convince yourself that that's the case. It's just like telling a lie. If you tell a lie enough times, you know, through a couple of generations, it will stick. And people will believe that to be the case. And that has been done multiple times throughout the history of mankind. That's not what this video is all about. But trust me, that's a thing too. So I think it's important for everybody to realize and understand that, and especially for the younger generations, that having this understanding of the whole hero archetype and applying that to our personal lives is extremely valuable in so many ways, because it allows us to know that there's always a solution. There's always a way out of something. No matter how bad it may look, there's always a way out. There's always a solution. There's always something that can be done. And even, and yeah, there's things that are out of our control, right? I always talk about this. There's things that are out of our control. But believe me when I tell you that most of the things that are happening in our lives right now, they're things that you control it. It's you have the capacity to act in whatever form or manner needs to be acted upon, so that you can find a way out of whatever it is. And I think it's a shame that this is happening less now, because when kids are not exposed to these things early in childhood, it like I said, it's very harmful and detrimental to the development of our minds, our whole psychology, our way of being, our emotional body, all of these things, right? Because it affects the whole thing. So when more and more you have families out there that are broken, where there's always one of the parents that is not around, all of these things, it all adds to it. It all makes it more difficult for the children to be able to persevere and overcome certain things. So that's why it's very important that there is someone in their lives. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be a family member, it could be a parent, it could be a grandparent, it could be a friend. That there is some form of mentorship, where there are people in that child's life that are actually telling this child and explaining and showing through life examples and experiences and all kinds of things of that nature, that there's always a way out. There's always a way out. And it sucks that the more we see things these days, it just doesn't. I understand that it's difficult, but it's because of conditioning, really. It's nothing else to it. And for the newer generations, the younger ones, I know they're not making it easier either, but it's important that we understand these things and we look at them objectively and know that we've always been equipped to deal with all of these things. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because that's a lie. Because most, if not all of the things that are happening in your life right now, you know, you are the writer of your own book. And it's okay to try things and to fail, but you can always give it another go with a different approach until you figure it out. That's the whole point. If you want to do something, if you want to go for something, don't give up. Just try different things, approach it from a different perspective, and keep doing that for as long as you have to until you get it right and you figure it out, because eventually it's going to happen. It's the beauty of the human spirit. We have this innate ability and capacity to overcome so many things. It's human nature to overcome things. The human race wouldn't be here today and have achieved so many of these things that we have achieved if we hadn't done that at all. It's beautiful. It really is. Right? And I think this is really all I wanted to say about this today. You know, you are the hero of your own story. And your superpower is to know that you can overcome and achieve whatever it is that you set yourself to do. You just have to figure out the right way to do it until you get it right. That's it. Problem is, most people give up before they reach that point. And then they end up convincing themselves that it couldn't be done, they couldn't do it. Because that's how the ego operates, right? we like to we like to put ourselves down sometimes, more often than we would like to admit. But I'm gonna leave this at that, my friends. If you like the video, don't forget to click the like button, share, subscribe. It helps the channel grow and reach more people. And I will catch you all on the next one.